managed to brave the rain, waiting for beloved Lazio to emerge. I have to say, they've done remarkably well to get here, given the transport issues in Rome, and given the fact that the game was in such serious doubt. We were pretty much getting news that it was off, and they waited and waited. There was a lot of confusion this morning, but it's hugely impressive to see how many fans have finally managed to make their way here from both clubs. Not easy conditions these in Italy at the moment. The Milan fans have travelled from the north in number. Claudio Lotito and Yong Hong Lee are in place, and Gianluca Rocchi leads them out onto the field. The Olimpico is always a hard place to build an atmosphere. It's such a gigantic bowl of a stadium, but given these conditions, given the circumstance, it's amazing that we have a real bowl of noise here. Well, we'll have the Serie A anthem blaring out. Ciro Immobile was almost singing along to that. I think he's getting used to it. Lucas looks suitably bemused. There's Leo Bonucci leading Milan through. It still takes some getting used to seeing him in a Rossoneri shirt. So much quality on both of these sides. And let's take a look at the teams then. Both lining up as expected, both just taking shape, particularly Milan, after the 230 million euros spent over the summer. Two really good attacking fullbacks, but Calabria in for Conti, who is out with injury. Rodriguez on the other side could become a firm favourite, I think, with the Milan fans. And that front three as well, of Suso and Verini on either side, of Patric Cotrone. Well, Leo Bonucci, so proud to be wearing that captain's armband. Senad Lulic, the man wearing the Lazio captain's armband now. Bonucci has spoken with real passion about those who call him a traitor for leaving Juve. He said it's got nothing to do with the money, it was everything to do with a fresh challenge. I think a lot of people feel it had plenty to do with his relationship with Max Allegri. Simone Inzaghi has done a terrific job, but this is the season where Lazio need to kick on under him. Lucas has arrived to help him do that. And as for Montella, is he the right man for this wildly ambitious Milan? He's maybe under more pressure, Chris Perry, than any manager in this division, I think.
Yeah, certainly after the amount of money that they spent over the summer, over 200 million euros. They brought in some fantastic names, but can he gel those names into a team that's going to take them into the Champions League places?
At least is the demand, absolutely at the minimum. And when you've got the quality at the top, Juve, Napoli, Inter, Roma, it's not easy to get into those Champions League places in Serie A. Suddenly the strength returning at the top of the division. Europa League action for both of these to come in the week. Both away, Vitesse for Lazio and FK Austria for Milan. But first, one of the big Serie A challenges to come. An early touch for Ricardo Rodriguez. Game hasn't ended goalless since January 2007. 19 goals in the last 5 editions. It's normally fun when these two meet. And the pitch is in remarkable condition. It was covered, and it's done its job really well. Fizzed in towards Catrone, cut out by Wallace.
Pitch is in amazing condition, isn't it? It looks almost perfect conditions to play, and when you consider the weather over the weekend so far, it's a great testament to the ground staff.
Now Musacchio. New arrival from A.V.A.R. Reconstructed back four once Conte's in the side, entirely so. And they did try to play three at the back in that Skengia game, and they sort of shelved it since. Automatically with Bonucci arriving, you'd think that would be the system.
Played four at the back against Cagliari in their last game, and they did leave themselves open to the counter-attack on numerous occasions. Just wonder whether they'll be a little bit more careful this afternoon playing against this Lazio side.
Here's Matteo Musacchio. Now Ricardo Rodriguez. The boos, predictably, are for Lucas Villa. He would have expected that, given his background. Argentine football, I'm sure he can cope as well. The flag's up against Calabria.
A tight decision, but interesting to see Calabria getting that far forward.
Rodriguez is onside here, chance for him to cross. Way by Parolo. Now maybe Lazio can counter. Good start this from Milan.
You've got the two different styles of play, haven't you? You've got obviously Lazio playing the three at the back with wing backs, and you've got Milan playing the four at the back. Those wide areas are going to be so crucial. Can Basta and Lulic really force Rodriguez and Calabria back to defend?
Here's Vrij. Wesley Hoot leaving Lazio for pastures new in Southampton. But they've still got options in that back three with Wallace, Vrij, Radu. Mainly a left-sided centre-half now rather than left-back.
The earlier one, it just goes early, Calabria, but interesting to see he was so far forward, gone past Suso there. Just shows the ambition in this Milan side to get players forward.
Maybe Calabria, a 20-year-old from the youth team, really. 4 years just about in the first team in one way or another. Maybe that's his response to the arrival of Andrea Conte and the way that he plays.
Huge part of Andrea Conte's game, isn't it, to get forward. Last season at Atalanta was absolutely outstanding, breaking forward as a wing-back for Atalanta, but he almost played as a wing-back in a back four against Cagliari.
The presence of Conte and Rodriguez, other reasons why you'd think Milan might eventually play three at the back. Here's Kessié. Now Rodriguez. Suso in towards Kessié. Plenty of fluidity about the Milan system, certainly. Montella is allowing them to play. Montolivo. And it drops kindly. Borini with the shot that was deflected away.
There's a good ball into the box from Montolivo. Little touch from Cutrone, just set Borini to hit on the volley. Just pulls off his man. Wallace gets an important block in.
Don't think there's much question that Serie A is his league, Borini.
I always think he's a really hard-working player, just lacks that final ball, that final finish.
Had that golden mini period with Roma. Anyways, made his reputation. Immobile is in the middle of one of those at the moment, but he knows all about moving abroad and it not working out. Foul there on Biglia.
Excellent from Lucas Biglia. That's his game, getting those second balls, win those, and just keep the ball ticking over, keep Milan going forward.
Forward by Kessie, a really good spot that. Calabria again was the target.
It's interesting, they maybe have just seen that Lulic might switch off defensively. They look to get Calabria inside him.
There's Donnarumma. Now Musacchio.
Been an impressive start from Milan, hasn't it? They've controlled possession. They look the side who are going to go forward with more intent. Lazio seem happy to let them have possession at the back, but at the moment they just can't deal with the movement of the three midfield players.
See Simone Inzaghi there, never beaten Milan as a manager. Scored 3 in 14 against them as a player. He's never as prolific a goal scorer as his brother, but he's a better coach than him on current evidence anyway. Super Pippo now in charge of Venezia, newly in Serie B. Definitely one of the most picturesque football grounds around.
It's interesting watching Milan. They try and overload the centre of the pitch. It's a long ball from Bonucci there, but Suso and Barini like to come inside. They're playing on opposite wings, if you like. The right footer on the left and the left footer on the right. And then you've got Montalivo and Kessie. They try and outnumber Lazio in that middle of the pitch.
Here's Dusan Basta. Too many cheap giveaways from Lazio in these early stages. Motoring forward now is Barini. Here's Biglia. Kessie on the charge. Calabria with him. Kessie goes on his own. Good stop. Comfortable stop by Thomas Strakosha.
Opened up, didn't it, for Kessie? He had Suso to his right-hand side, decided to ignore him. Opened up for the shot, just didn't get enough power on it.
Second halves are underway elsewhere, so we'll keep you in touch with Atalanta 1, Sassuolo 1, Cagliari 1, Crotone 0, Hellas 0, Fiorentina 3, and Udinese 1, Genoa 0, still goalless at the Olimpico.
This is it, simple ball from Biglia, wasn't it? Good run from Kessie. Decides to go to his left-hand side, it opens up for the shot, but not enough power on his weaker foot.
Milan certainly look the stronger here. Not afraid to play, are they? That was Musacchio coming forward from the back. There is a certain type of player that they have signed. I think they're going to be fun to watch. Whether it's successful is quite another thing.
It's interesting, and against Cagliari, Musacchio played on the right-hand side of the two centre-backs and Bonucci on the left. They've actually swapped over for this game. I just wonder if Bonucci's a little bit more comfortable on that side of the pitch, and because they did leave themselves wide open on a few occasions, and Cagliari been a bit more clinical in front of goal, they could well have scored a few more goals.
Rodriguez. Forward by Radu. Looking for Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. Here's Bonucci, still maybe settling into that new shirt. Don't need to tell you who's on the ball there as Villa finds Barini. Blocked by Parolo.
Good defending, wasn't it, from Lazio, the way that Parolo just came back and helped out his fullback there just as he was getting attacked, made sure they knew that Barini was going to try and come inside Wallace, who seems to have injured himself in clearing the ball. Just maybe got some studs on the bottom of his foot there from Barini, but they know Barini's a right-footed player playing on the left-hand side, wants the cut back inside, and it was interesting that Parolo immediately took up that space and just cut off the option.
Yeah, Wallace in a little bit of pain. It looked like the back of the knee that was being sprayed there. Here's Simone Inzaghi. Not overly happy with his players in these early stages. Looks like his calf, Chris.
Certainly wouldn't have been from the challenge, I don't think. That just must have been a muscle injury.
Well, we'll have to wait and see about that one. They did feel they were a centre-back short in the transfer window. They failed to bring one in before the deadline. They've been linked this week to the former Milan centre-half Christian Zaccardo, who's now a free agent, who was advertising his services on LinkedIn.
Game's changed, isn't it?
Here's Rodriguez. I think they might be getting a little bored of booing Biglia.
Fans don't boo bad players, do they? He's been an excellent servant to Lazio, and they understand that he's a really important player.
Now Barini might open up for him, but safe hands there of the young Albanian keeper Thomas Strakosha.
Just popped inside into a good area of space. There's a player down. I think it's Wallace again.
Wallace, yeah.
They have to take him off, I think.
Well, you can see the signalling. A couple of options for them potentially here.
Be interesting to see whether they stick with the three at the back.
Yes, they're going to bring Bastos on, aren't they?
Yeah,
and that will be three at the back, I think.
Natural centre-back, isn't he? Like-for-like replacement. Not something you want to do this early in the game, though. You know, you lose a defender, you make a substitution early, it just narrows down your options further on in the game when maybe you need to change things.
Well, Gianluca Rocchi only officiated one Lazio match last season, a 3-1 defeat at Crotone, and before half-time in that game he sent off Bastos, the 13th Lazio player that he's shown a red card to over the years. There's the moment where he just stretched or strained. It's hard to see, isn't it?
Yeah, it didn't look anything, did it? It was innocuous, wasn't it? But he's obviously done himself some damage.
So the Angolan Bastos is a decent replacement. Similar type of player, certainly, to Wallace.
He is. He hasn't played a lot of football, has he? Only 11 appearances last season. His first appearance this season.
Well, with their current absence of centre-halves, a chance to play his way into the side and get a run. Just watch out for Signore Rocchi, I would have thought. Those 13 Lazio Reds have come over 33 games. It's not quite as dramatic as it might seem initially, but it's still interesting. There's Parolo, now Basta. Only really Immobile available. Was there a push in the back? Well, he went over easily, but there was certainly some contact there.
Yeah, there certainly looked to be a little nudge in the back from Calabria on Immobile. He just gives him a little nudge. I mean, he's fortunate to get away with it. You can understand why Immobile goes down.
I think the referee felt he was playing for it.
I think he made a lot of it, but there certainly was some contact.
Plenty of movement as it's whipped in towards that near post. Donnarumma was flailing.
It hit Bastos on the line.
It did. I think it might have been going in. Has Bastos just defended the wrong end?
He may well have. It was a wicked ball into the box, wasn't it? The whip on the initial cross. Just don't deal with the near post. Donnarumma gets a hand on it, and Bastos almost ends up clearing it for Milan.
The relief for him is it wasn't going in, but any kind of touch the right way, and it's 1-0 Lazio. Centre halves, Chris, never the sharpest in front of goal.
You practice clearing it so often in training in the week. I think when you get in that area of the pitch, sometimes you just do it naturally.
Not sure it would have been a deserved lead, but it was close to it for Lazio.
Would have been very much against the run of play, but that's the danger for Milan. They're dominating possession, but set pieces and anything like that, you can score at any time.
Luiz Alberto's set pieces are great as well, aren't they? It's a real bonus for them.
Delivery was spot on, wasn't it? Any touch at the near post would maybe have scored as well.
There he is again, Luiz Alberto. Now Lulic. Parolo. Nice touch for Immobile. Had to hit it. Second time, really. It was a snapshot and didn't get hold of it.
Yeah, really well worked, wasn't it? This is the penalty decision again. There were arms in the back, but not enough to push him over for me. Important defending just a second ago from Ricardo Rodriguez.
I think if he looks at that on review, I don't think he changes his mind.
Got wrong side though, Calabria needs to get back round goal side. And then at least you're making the challenge from the right side of the player.
There's Bastos. A good two touches in the end there from Strakosha. He was put under a bit of pressure. Delia.
It's a tough ball. There's not a lot of space in behind to hit there as Cutrone makes the run. Has to be inch perfect when you play that.
Well, Lucas, who did slot in at centre half for Liverpool a few times. Almost back there as a third centre-back. It's going to be his role, trying to do the Lucas Biglia thing, really. For Lazio, without really the quality on the ball going forward, maybe.
That's it. It's not a like-for-like replacement, is it? He's not quite as good.
Now Parolo. There's Lucas for Basta. Luiz Alberto. Immobile. Lazio growing in confidence and growing into the game.
Lazio on a couple of occasions now have had the two wing-backs, Lulic and Basta, in good positions to switch the play early, but they've just taken 3 or 4 passes to get it across the pitch. They can hit that ball out there early, then they've got an overload. They'll suck the fullbacks of Milan out and have a huge amount of space.
Now Rodriguez. For Montolivo, who, if he recaptures his form from 3 or 4 years ago after dealing with injury, is like a new signing, and what a new signing at the age of 32. Be great to see Montolivo get a whole season. 49 league games in 3 seasons is not great from someone of his quality.
He's an excellent player. He played in that defensive midfield role last week that Lucas Bilia's taken up today, but and a little bit further forward this afternoon. I'm sure he'll enjoy that.
It's a lively start. Fiorentina have made it 4-0 at Hellas. Jordan Vertu with the goal. 4-0 for La Viola. There's Basta. Now Lulic. Lazio suddenly look a threat.
They switched the ball much quicker that time, didn't they? And because they're putting so many players in the centre of the pitch. Milinkovic Savic is getting forward, Luis Alberto is getting forward to support Immobile. They're sucking the two full-backs of Milan in narrow, and it just leaves the two wing-backs in space to get a free cross into the box.
Here's Bastos. Now Luis Alberto. Here's Senad Lulic. Senad Lulic has done well to get to the byline and win Lazio a corner.
Come right back into the game now, Lazio, haven't they? They've finally worked out where their spare men are and how they can use them. It's going to be another wicked right-footed ball in from Luis Alberto. Milan didn't defend the last one particularly well, so they're going to have to do better.
Immobile's got a key role, hasn't he, at that near post. That's where the last one went. It's a little deeper this time. You know, he looks like he's going for goal every time.
I think he's definitely trying to put the ball in on top of Gianluigi Donnarumma and test him out. You know, you can see there's a lot of players in and around the goalkeeper, but that one just a little bit too much height on it.
I think the message there from those two fans was pretty clear. There's Dusan Basta. Now Lulic. Well blocked by Bonucci.
Read that well, didn't he, Bonucci?
Here's Montolivo. Do worry about his legs these days. He was never the quickest, but just looks a little short of where he was still.
Just needed to release the ball a little bit quicker, and then he's late on that challenge. Just can't get about the pitch as well as he used to. So has to adapt his game and just move the ball now.
Now Luis Alberto. Here's Parolo. Basta for Luis Alberto. Just took a risk there to try and find a way through. He goes over. Musacchio tells him exactly what he thinks of him.
I think Musacchio just held his ground there.
They're putting Gianluca Rocchi under pressure here, Lazio. One back by Rodriguez. Now Bilia. Here's Montolivo. It's a game that feels like it's ready to crackle into life, this. Maybe now's the moment. Sliced by Radu.
Real good tactical battle about it, hasn't he? Two different styles of play. They both understand how they want to play and how they can affect the other two teams. Which team's going to do it better than the other and create that goal-scoring chance.
Delia caught there by Parolo, and that'll be a final warning.
Pretty crude challenge. I think we're going to go back and maybe look at the penalty incident. Alberto comes inside. No, not for me again. He went down a little bit easy. I mean, there is contact early, but he takes a long time to go down.
Oh, we know what Suso can do, but can he do it from this kind of range?
He scored against Cagliari, but from a lot closer. But it's very straight on. He certainly won't be able to whip it over the wall the way he did against Cagliari. It might be more power needed.
Delia there as well. Strakosha knows just what Suso can do. Going to try and get it moving. And it moved over the crossbar.
He used a different technique, didn't he? This time he tried to strike it with his laces. Last week he bent it with his instep, but just too much pace on it, too much height.
Well, we've got Lyon against Guingamp coming up from Liga. Kicks off at 4 p.m. It's on initially BT Sport 3 Extra, and then it moves on to this channel right after this game. The second half will be live on this channel. From Serie A, Benevento Torino is on Extra 2 and 2 HD from 5 p.m. And, you can get that via the red button. And then Bologna-Napoli tonight, 7:30 p.m. BT Sport 1 and 1 HD. It's when the build-up starts to what should be good atmosphere, good Sunday night game, that.
Just a foul, wasn't it, from Belia on Immobile? Just making sure he didn't break away.
Played in behind towards Immobile. Nearly.
That's a really good run from Immobile, and a nice ball from Luiz Alberto into his path outside of his right foot, always bending into the run. Just a little bit too much pace on it.
There's Bastos. Forward by Kessié. Taking him a while to settle at his new club. Franck Kessié.
He's playing a little bit more central at Milan than he did at Atalanta. He was often found himself in that wide right position at Atalanta.
Here's Montolivo. Now Bonucci. Here is Kessié. Now Bastos. There's Luiz Alberto. Here's Dusan Basta. Good battling from him. Really cool defending from Bonucci.
You'd expect nothing else, would you, from Bonucci there? Picked up the perfect position.
And it was a stray pass from Montolivo. Here's Milinkovic-Savic. Luiz Alberto, now Basta. Immobile waiting in the middle. And he tries to pick out the run at the far post of Lulic. Just over everyone's head. You can see the frustration of Milinkovic-Savic.
Yeah, well, Milinkovic-Savic was free behind Lulic, but obviously didn't shout loud enough.
Kessié.
Sorry, it's in those wide areas again, Dave, that Lazio are getting their success. Basta getting forward. He needs to maintain his width. They can get an overload in the wide areas and get crosses into the box.
There's Ricardo Rodriguez. Now Bonucci. Away by Parolo. Here's Immobile, nice sharp turn from Ciro Immobile. Trying to take on Musacchio, came off Immobile last.
It's a goal kick, isn't it? But just lacked support, didn't he, Immobile? He did brilliantly initially to turn away and carry the ball up the pitch. Just needed someone to break their neck to get forward on his right-hand side.
There is a touch of Rome derby about this rivalry, with the presence of Montella in the Milan dugout. Great player for Roma. Quiglia playing it in, and again no control from Calabria. It would normally be Andrea Conti, the new arrival from Atalanta.
Lulic just guilty of ball watching there, didn't know where Calabria was coming in behind him, and had his touch been better he would have been in on goal.
There's Lucas. Luis Alberto, here's Milinkovic Savic. Now Parolo. Switch the play neatly, and it might fall for Basta. In the end, it's turned behind by Rodriguez, but rather like Lulic at the other end there, Rodriguez was nearly caught out.
Just got himself wrong side, didn't he? Ricardo Rodriguez there, switched off. Basta got goal side of him, but just had enough strength to hold him off and stop him getting on the end of the header.
Luis Alberto to take this corner. Another delivery with real spin and bend on it. Well, the only surprise here so far, two surprises. One, that the game is on and there are this many people, which is remarkable. The other, we haven't had a goal yet. It's been really entertaining. $31,000 season tickets sold by Milan, 14,000 more than last season. Increase of 30,000 over the whole of Serie A. Milan nearly half of that. Exciting times, particularly at San Siro.
Just get the feeling this is an important game for both sides, don't you? You know, early on in the season, to get that one-upmanship on each other. They're both fighting for the same goal, really try and break into those Champions League places. Lazio's home form last season against the 5 teams that finished in and around them, they only got 1 point from 15 at home. So I mean, that's something they really need to turn around and take some points from these games.
Yeah, fighting for the same goal with different resources at the moment. Milan really going for it. You know, they want the title, don't they, within 3 years. They want probably to win the Champions League within 5 or 6. There is stated ambition from Yonghon Lee and co, although there are still question marks about the sustainability of the whole thing. It's producing some pretty entertaining football, which is all we care about. Worth reminding you probably at this point that this fixture hasn't ended goalless since January 07. every 10 years. Now Lucas. Immobile just caught offside.
It looked like it was a good line. You could see Masaccio was looking across as though he was talking across the line, just whether Kessié was going to drop in, but he didn't.
Here's Rodriguez.
Just look how high Calabria is. He's playing as a right winger.
Now Immobile. Oh, nicely done to pick out Luis Alberto. Oh, had time and space and used up way too much of it.
He should have done better. He had so much time.
Might get another chance here, Luis Alberto. Still going, goes over. Penalty this time. Kessié's challenge. And Luis Alberto has what he wanted. And Lazio have a big chance now to grab the lead.
Well, Kessié is going to say this isn't a penalty, but it's clumsy. Luis Alberto does brilliantly. He just gets his body in front of Kessié, which means any challenge that Kessié makes is going to be from behind. There's a little bit of contact between the two legs. I think the referee's got it spot on.
Well, they could have told him to look at it again if they thought it was a howler, and they didn't. I think he had a great view of it, and that was his call. It's going to be Ciro Immobile against Gigio Donnarumma. Big moment this at the Olimpico early on in this Serie A season. It's Immobile! Superb penalty! Sends the Olimpico wild. Lazio in front against the new money of Milan.
You'd have to say after the initial opening 10 minutes of the game, they've deserved it. They've been the better side. They've looked the more dangerous. Here's a look at the penalty again. Just a tangle of legs, wasn't he? He just tries to make the tackle from behind Kessié, but Immobile's penalty was emphatic, wasn't it? Just hit it with the laces, went for power. It was past Donnarumma really before he could react. Really good penalty from Ciro Immobile.
Winner against Israel for Italy. Goal now for Lazio. If you include friendlies and club and country, that's 12 in 11 or 12 in 10 and a half for Ciro Immobile. Really remarkable career his. It's still ongoing, but what a goal scorer in Italy, where he's disappointed elsewhere. Now Rodriguez.
Offside. Look at the line. The line was excellent, wasn't it? The official on the far side with a really good decision as well. It's important now, I think, that Lazio see this out till half-time. Can they hold on to that lead? Milan will look to try and get that goal back before half-time and get themselves back in the game.
There's Biglia. Atalanta have taken the lead against Sassuolo. What you have to call a rare goal these days from Andrea Petagna. Might be the winner, though, in Bergamo. He could start to score regularly, Petagna. What a player he could be.
He's got it all, hasn't he? You know, he holds the ball up well. He's a real presence. He can create goals for other players. Just doesn't quite score enough. Only 5 last season, I think.
Yeah, that's right. He's got that Graziano Pele thing, hasn't he, going on? And anyway, we'll see. Talk about him another time. For the time being here, it's all about Ciro, the hero. Lazio leading by a goal to nil. His penalty. Montolivo.
have to say that at the moment, Inzaghi's tactics seem to be getting the better of Montella's. Certainly the three at the back and the two wing-backs has been far more effective, taking the lead through Immobile's penalty. I just wonder if there was a thought of Montella about playing a three at the back, whether today might be the time to do it. Obviously, just match up Lazio and see if they can better them than player for player.
It'd be brave to switch it at half-time. Here's Parolo. Now Basta.
Getting overloaded, Milan, in wide areas. The fullbacks are getting dragged out. It means the midfield players have become really deep to defend.
Parolo once more. Lulic switched over to the right and he's picked the pass perfectly! Ciro Immobile's day at the Stadio Olimpico. The form striker in Europe strikes again, and it's Lazio by 2-0.
And it's been coming, hasn't it? They've been getting in wide areas. Lulic, for some reason, finds himself on the right-hand side of the pitch, in the right wing area, and produces a cross of immense quality with his swinger of a right foot. But once again, where is Calabria, the right back? He's got sucked right over the pitch. Bonucci finds himself with Immobile just pulled off the back of him. It's a brilliant finish though from Immobile. He's got a lot of time to think about what he's going to do. He has to size up the weight of the pass, sets himself on the volley. It's great technique, but that's the second or third time now that Milan have found themselves with a player over at the back post.
2 goals in 4 minutes. Shockwaves through the Rossoneri. Montolivo. Suso deflected through by Kessié.
Wasn't much of a shot, wasn't it, from Suso? Opened up for him, but just dragged it along the floor. But Kessié's running to the box. There's the goal again. It's brilliant technique from Immobile. Watches it all the way, eyes on the ball. Might even come off his shin, you know, but it doesn't matter. Went in the bottom corner.
Now Parolo.
Question marks over Calabria's positioning, certainly. How he got dragged inside of Bonucci and Masacchio, almost the other side of the pitch. Just has to keep his shape there, and he'd have been marking Immobile.
Here's Bonucci. Final minute of the first half, a half that has come alive. I bet they're pleased now, the authorities, that, apart from the Roma fans, that they called this game on.
It's been a really good game. Intriguing tactically, but some good finishes.
And if this defending carries on, I wonder how long it'll take Bonucci to fall out with Montella.
It's defending that certainly wouldn't have happened at Juventus. There's no way that a Stefan Lichtsteiner, for instance, would have got dragged past Bonucci and Masacchio there, dragged out of position that far.
Maybe if you're asking someone to be something he's not. Calabria's not Conti. That's what happens.
He's not comfortable playing that position. But he's a natural right-sided fullback, Calabria. But he's almost playing too high up the pitch. But in that position, when there's a cross coming in from the other side of the pitch, you just get yourself 5 yards away from your centre-back and you hold that position. I don't know why he's going past them.
Here's Kessié. Fired on by anger, frustration at conceding the penalty. He'll certainly think unfairly. Now Milinkovic Savic. Couple of minutes added on at the end of this first half. Luis Alberto. Lovely sway of the hips there from Lulic. Just feels a bit like Milan are defending on the stretch.
Similar in the Cagliari game, they never look comfortable defensively, and they still don't. I know 3 of the back 4 today are new signings, they're getting used to each other. But I think with the quality of player that they've got in there, that they'd be able to deal with it.
I was going to say, they're new signings, but very experienced. Musacchio, Bonucci, Rodriguez.
So I've watched Ricardo Rodriguez at Wolfsburg for the last couple of seasons. He's not the greatest defender, much better going forward. Conti as well, the same, not a great defender. Leaves the 2 centre-backs really exposed.
Lazio shrugged off the early loss of Wallace. Haven't had much defending to do, really.
That'd be the disappointing thing. Milan have had a decent amount of possession, but they haven't really tested Strakosha in the Lazio goal at all. I mean, that one shot from Kessie that rolled into his hands, really.
The travelling Milan contingent, who've braved the rain to get here, have not had much to cheer about. Closing seconds of the first half. Gianluca Rocchi brings it to a close. It has been about one man, Ciro Immobile, from the spot, and then with a wonderful right-footed volley. Both goals within 4 minutes just before half-time. Lazio with a significant advantage here. Inzaghi on top in the Rome derby of coaches. At half-time at the Olimpico, it's Lazio 2, Milan 0. Well, debates continue amongst the Milan backline. BT Sports Score comes your way Saturdays at 2:45 p.m. Join the team for plenty of fun throughout the course of a footballing afternoon, and a footballing Saturday afternoon at that. Some BT Sport 1 and 1 HD. But right now we focus on the action at the Stadio Olimpico. I think we thought the ground staff were going to be the heroes of the day, and all of those involved in and around, but I think Ciro Immobile, Chris, has taken over that mantle so far.
Yeah, so far certainly. He's been a focal point for everything that Lazio do. He's led the line well, he scored 2 goals. Can they go on in the second half? They need to make sure that maybe they can go on and get the 3rd goal and not allow Milan to get the next goal and work their way back into this game. It's going to be interesting to see how they approach it, whether they sit back like they did in the first half and then look to hit on the counter, which they have done on a couple of occasions, or whether as the game went on they got more and more possession. They worked out that the 2 wing-backs were their outball, and they looked really dangerous when they went forward.
Remember, Lazio still have Felipe Anderson to come back at some point. They've got Nani as well. I love that story. Don't know if you're across that about Nani. Wait for the second half to get back underway. Lazio lead by 2-0. Yeah, briefly about Nani. Sette Nani is the Italian for 7 dwarves. And a lot of fans were joking around saying, I hope Lazio give him the number 7. So it's Sette Nani. And they did. It's a great delight everywhere. See the T-shirt already, can't you?
He'll have a different name every week, depending on how he plays.
Was announced on social media, the picture of him with the shirt, and everyone thought Lazio had a great sense of humour playing along, and then realised it was true. Anyway, back to the serious business. There's Lulic. Now Calabria. Milan having to find a way back after a really poor end to that first half. Lazio haven't beaten Milan since the Coppa Italia quarter-final at San Siro in January 2015. A Lucas Biglia penalty, of all things. Starting to enjoy it as well, the home side. Here's Milinkovic, Savic. Don't want to get overconfident.
Just got to carry on doing what they were doing. They were really effective in the second half of that first half and really opened Milan up on a few occasions.
Look at that from Lulic, leaves Calabria on his backside. Oh, clever turn inside! Ciro, the hero who burst Milan's bubble. A hat-trick for Immobile. Lazio nearly out of sight.
Well, not the sort of start that Montella and Milan would have wanted, but you have to question the defending in the wide area of Calabria. Gets sat on his back. Some really good skill, and it's a really well-worked goal from a Lazio point of view. Here's Lulic. Calabria just falls on his back. Parolo finds a little bit of space. Brilliantly clever pass from Parolo. Little reverse pass into it. Immobile, but how has Immobile got that much space in the 18-yard box to have a touch, set his sights and just pass it into the back of the net? You have to wonder about the defending of Milan today. You really do. Didn't seem to be any communication.
Desperate effort, wasn't it, as well?
No communication between Musacchio and Bonucci. They both got attracted to the same ball. Left Immobile with the freedom of the penalty area.
A hat-trick in 10 minutes, either side of half-time from Ciro Immobile.
I have to say, I've seen Calabria play a few times, and this is by far the worst I've seen him play. But he's really struggling this afternoon. Whether you take him off just to protect him, he's a young guy.
Here he goes again. Immobile against Musacchio. This time he picks the pass for Luiz Alberto. Lazio on fire in the rain. And Milan are being torn apart. Lotito can't believe it. And Serie's big investors are up against it now. It is a day when reality bites for Vincenzo Montella and Milan.
This is absolutely ridiculous defending from Milan. How they leave themselves that exposed to the counter-attack. Musacchio could not keep pace with Immobile. He just fires the ball with his left foot across the box. No one tracks the run of Luiz Alberto. Has a lot to do. Donnarumma standing up, but he passes it into the back of the net. 4-0. Absolute delight in the crowd.
Big Iglitare there, former yeoman of a striker in Serie, now the sporting director. Punch in the air. As long as it's just the air, we'll all be okay.
I can't believe how naive that defending was, having just conceded a goal. To leave yourself that wide open so soon afterwards. Credit to Immobile, you know, got his head up, picked the perfect pass.
Biglia.
You think we came into this game talking about maybe two centre-forwards. Cutrone has had a great start for Milan. I haven't really mentioned his name. He hasn't touched the ball. Hasn't had any service at all.
Here's Lulic. Now Kessie. Is this where the comeback starts? They did draw 4-4 in October '99, these two, in one of those legendary Serie A games. Game in which Simone Inzaghi came on and replaced, of all people, Diego Simeone. Sheba got a hat-trick. Feels like a different era entirely, that. Well, Milan will have to go some to match that scoreline now.
That was a little bit cheeky, wasn't it, from Luiz Alberto, trying to lob Donnarumma from there, but this is the finish from Luiz Alberto. Gets a little bit of luck, I think. hits it into the floor and it bounces over Donnarumma. It wasn't the greatest of finishes. I think they probably earned that luck.
Here's Kessié. Immobile. Rodriguez. Suso now. Well defended this time by Lazio. Radu.
Did well, didn't he, Stefan Radu? Playing in that left side centre-back position today. Usually over his career has been a full-back. Certainly wasn't going to get done 1v1 by Suso. Knew exactly what he was going to do there. So Nikola Kalinic is going to come on.
Well, you wouldn't feel that was the change they needed, but
I think they've got to get another strike on, which they've just got to throw caution to the wind now and try and get back into the game.
Well, maybe Kalinic for Cutrone, given how hard Barini works, we'll see, or whether it'll be more attacking than that.
I think you've got to keep Cutrone on the pitch. He's a natural goal scorer. I'd take off Calabria and go to a 3 at the back and just try and get some more bodies forward.
Then you've got the question of who plays the right-hand side. Does Kessié go out there, maybe?
Kessié can play right wing back, I think, quite comfortably.
Well, we'll see. Kessié himself isn't having a great day. He'd be another option. We'll see what the man in charge does anyway.
He's more effective in the wide areas, as I mentioned in the first half. Got less bodies in and around him, and he can be a little bit more direct.
Here is Kessié. Astonishing day so far. Rodriguez. Immobile, what a nightmare for him. Here's Suso. Good shooting angle for Suso, punched away by Strakosha.
Probably could have caught it, Strakosha, but took no chances, punched it away. The players converging on him.
Here's Bilia. Suso fouled, and that will be a free kick within his range. Double change. Çalhanoğlu is on for Cutrone. Say double change, yeah it is. And it's Barini.
I'd say Barini. He's been ineffective, as I think he is in the majority of his games. He works hard, but what exactly does he give you as a left winger? Hasn't got any quality, doesn't score enough goals. I don't see how he gets in the team. I really don't. You spend that much money and then you're playing Barini every week.
Well, if he's been a passenger, Montolivo's in a similar category, so too Calabria. Pulled straight into the wall by Çalhanoğlu, breaks kindly. Montolivo.
He looks offside, doesn't he, Montolivo? He has to be standing offside, surely.
It's given for the time being.
An interesting one to look at, wasn't it?
Well, let's see if they recommend that he looks at it, and let's see what the result will be.
Right,
no,
he's onside.
He's on, played on by Bastos.
Yeah, Bastos. Actually good defending from Bastos. He's actually going in for the initial rebound, which you ask every centre-back to do, you know, go and protect your goalkeeper in case he drops it. But he's ended up, unfortunately, playing Montolivo onside, and it was a calm finish because he could quite easily have thought that he'd been offside there, but kept his head and gives Milan an outside chance.
And I'm glad I just told you and everyone that he'd been a passenger. Oh, played back dangerously. Kalinic nearly, very nearly got that. And I suspect Cutrone would have done. Kalinic just on his heels, freshly into the game, couldn't quite react in time.
It's amazing how a goal can suddenly change them. Looking nervy now, aren't they, Lazio? Just changes the momentum in the game. Strakosha had to be quick off his line there.
Yeah, those terrible nerves when you're 4-1 up.
It's amazing how it can suddenly get nervy.
Milan are going for it here. Now Montolivo, chopped by Lulic.
Just a lazy challenge, wasn't quick enough to the second ball. Montolivo was quicker than him. Showed a greater desire to get there, and Lulic brings him down from behind.
He has that, doesn't he, Senad Lulic?
He's not a natural defender, is he? He's not a great tackler.
He's always got a cheap yellow card in him. Hakan Çalhanoğlu has a wonderful delivery from these set pieces. One of the reasons he's been signed. Bonucci forward. Kessier at the far post as well.
It's actually a really poor ball, isn't it, from Çalhanoğlu?
Retrieved by Bonucci, but his cross was predictably poor.
Just ran it out, didn't he? Ricardo Rodriguez did well to keep it in initially on the byline, but then ran it off the pitch in the corner. Lazio just need to calm it down, just regain some control, regain some composure, and just see out this little spell that Milan are having. Just work out what they've done, the new players have come on, whether they've changed the system. Just settle down and pass the ball again.
Just over half an hour for Milan to get 3 more. Here's Çalhanoğlu. Kessier. Forward by Bonucci. Kalinic does well to keep it in.
Seems to be a little bit more desire and a little bit more urgency in Milan's play since the 2 substitutes have come on. They've got that goal back. They seem to be quicker to the second balls now.
Here's Calabria. And it goes from Suso towards Kalinic. Half an hour left now. Calabria. Suso dispossessed by Lulic. They are going to be vulnerable to any quick counters here from Lazio. Not if they give the ball away.
It's a chance they have to take.
Well, Jordan Lukaku is preparing to come on. That would be defensive move, maybe for Lulic.
I'd go for Lulic, absolutely. Just looks a little bit tired, maybe, Lulic. Been up and down that left flank all afternoon, getting forward an awful lot in that first half. He's a bit more defensive than Lulic, isn't he? Natural defender.
Yeah, there's only the one goal machine in that family. Lulic just keeps running though, he was making himself available there. He goes from Luiz Alberto, Bonucci with the header. Now Radu. Luiz Alberto. In towards Basta. Head in his hands.
Only had a little bit more belief in his technique as it came over his shoulder, just to try and hit it towards goal rather than maybe help it back across. Not accustomed to finding himself in that sort of position, Dusan Basta.
There's Suso. Now Çalhanoğlu.
Çalhanoğlu's been on, what, 5 minutes? He's done more than Barini did in 55 minutes.
Here's Calabria. You could see what he was trying to do, trying to find the angle, but it wasn't there. In from Bonucci. Away by Lucas. Kessié arriving late. Another Milan goal, and panic really would start to set in because there's plenty of time left. Cheap corner given away by the tiring Lulic.
Another one. It's a terrible delivery from Suso to the near post, really should have been cleared.
Another ball floated in and just about cleared away by Strakosha. He was under pressure, he did well to keep his eye on it. Musacchio was closing in.
He's offside, Bonucci, isn't he? But Musacchio wasn't, who went for it. Just runs across the eye line of Strakosha, which made it difficult for him. Should Kessié have done better with the rebound?
Lukaku comes on. Lulic is the player withdrawn. From that Bosnia defeat in Cyprus, Lukaku involved in the 9-0 Belgium win against Gibraltar. So they followed up with a big victory in Greece to make sure of their qualification for the World Cup. Good game for the fullbacks union, that 9-0 against Gibraltar. Thomas Meunier scoring one of the more unlikely hat-tricks in recent years. Much more likely one scored here today by Immobile. Here's Suso. That's a really good ball in towards Kalinic. And he felt he was having his shirt tugged there.
It's interesting to see what the referee's actually given here.
He gave the corner. Certainly confusing though, you're right. Montolivo. Now Suso.
Whatever reason now, Lazio just can't get the ball to just take the sting out of this Milan attack. It keeps coming back. Getting to dropped off maybe 10 yards deeper than they were in the first half and allowing Milan to have the ball. It's understandable at 4-1 because you kind of drop off and just make it difficult for them to play through you, but just giving the initiative in the game away.
There's Calabria, now Suso wants to take on Jordan Lukaku.
Have to know with Suso that majority of the time he's going to come inside. If he leaves space inside, he's going to come inside onto that left foot. He's going to look to get shots and crosses away. This is a replay of the incident. You can see that Bastos has got hold of Kalanic's shirt, but very difficult for the referee to see.
Didn't Kalinic just have a little hold on him as well? They are tough, those ones, aren't they?
I think it always goes on in the penalty area. That I thought Kalinic actually could have done a little bit better and just got his head across the front of Bastos maybe, rather than going for the volley.
They've got home games to come against Udinese and Spal, and Udinese might be tricky actually for Milan, but time to regroup. Spal, of course, held Lazio here 0-0 on the opening day. Not too many walk in the park games in Serie A these days. They've got that trip to Vienna first, Milan. Big start to October if you look ahead for Milan. Roma and Inter in that first week. They're going to start to look like absolutely key games, as might this.
Well, particularly if they lose this game, you know, to come away with 2 defeats from those games would really mean that they're behind everyone else in that race for the Champions League spots.
There's Kessié, now Suso. Forward by Immobile, Lukaku taking on Kessié. Montolivo. Now Calabria.
I just wonder if Milan were to get another goal back, whether we might see Montella really go for it, as there's a yellow card there.
Yeah, Parolo's foul, wasn't it? On Çalhanoğlu.
Calabria, do you really need him on the pitch? Just saw the ball played in behind, and Kessié track all the way back. Play Kessié as a right back, maybe get another centre forward on the pitch. You spend a lot of money on Andre Silva, can you get him on the pitch?
Yeah, one substitute appearance so far for a big new signing from Porto. There's Luis Alberto. Now Immobile against Bonucci. There's a battle for the ages. Immobile skips around him, and Immobile can't make it fall.
Oh, he does brilliantly, Immobile, doesn't he? Absolutely brilliantly. I can't think of many centre forwards in world football that have ever skipped past Bonucci that easily. And you're thinking he has to finish. Just runs out of legs really at the end. Runs out of energy. Just looks so exposed at times in this Milan side, Bonucci, when you compare to him over the last 7 or 8 years at Juventus. Has to be the players that were playing alongside him.
Here's Calabria. Manchester City were very interested, of course, in Bonucci. Wonder what they're thinking now. I'm not saying he's turned into a bad player, but just shows take him out of that Juve way and things look a little different.
I just think he always knew that Chiellini was going to be to his left, Barzagli was going to be to his right, and they were always there. And now playing in this back four, and he's finding himself a little bit more exposed. There's more ground to cover. The fullbacks are getting really high.
Here's Luis Alberto. Immobile available again. Now Lukaku.
At times, Belia has looked a little bit pedestrian, tracking people back. I know he's missed a lot of football. It's only his second appearance of the season. He looks tired.
A few of them do, Chris. Immobile opens up for him again. Donnarumma behind it this time.
He kind of advertised where he was going to hit that one, Immobile, just with the shape of his body, didn't he? Which made it an easier save for Donnarumma.
Now Montalivo. I don't know, Immobile's missed 2 chances in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Overrated. What a game he's had.
He's been excellent, hasn't he? He really has led the line. Luiz Alberto not far behind him, I have to say.
There's a lot of work to do for Milan. And I think we always knew that. Here's Kessié. Another thing that's interesting is, I was wondering if there's a bit of a blame culture creeping in. There's the Donnarumma save, but you saw Calabria there, angry with Kessié. Donnarumma is constantly doing that to those around him. I'm not talking about berating your teammates, I'm talking about blaming them and not taking responsibility. Suso, by the way, coming off, and Jack Bonaventura coming on, but I hope that doesn't creep in, because that, as you know, Chris, isn't healthy in a squad.
It's certainly not. You need everyone pulling in the same direction. We saw pictures at half-time of Bonucci and Montalivo having a pretty heated discussion maybe about some things. Just wonder whether there's a few bigger names in there now, and certainly players like Bonucci aren't used to these sort of things happening, and there's some big characters in that team now. Can Montella manage them?
And Bonaventura gave an interview this week in one of the magazines in Italy, revealing that he's a huge fan of The Godfather and his favourite film star is Al Pacino. Talk about conforming to a cliche, but there you go. Rather like that franchise this season. Parts 1 and 2 have been excellent for Milan, but part 3 is very, very average. Here's Lukaku.
Just lost a bit of that momentum now, haven't they, Milan, you know, from getting the goal and the substitutes coming on. Lazio have just seen out, just ridden the storm. Just feel that Milan have to score in the next couple of minutes if they're going to have any chance.
It feels like that little bit of momentum that the goal gave them has gone. But another one would potentially bring it back. There's Kessié. Now Bonucci. Bounces through. Gives me a chance to remind you, Lyon Guingamp is in progress. Lyon lead by a goal to nil on Extra 3 and 3 HD. The second half of that will be live after this game. Benevento Torino is live today. Benevento looking for that first Serie A win. 5 p.m. on Extra 2 and 2 HD. And to access that game, cable and satellite viewers can press red. BT TV viewers should select BT Sport Extra on the EPG. And that game continues on BT Sport 1 directly after the rugby. And then later on that same channel, BT Sport 1 and 1 HD, it is Bologna against Napoli. Up towards Kessié, did well to keep it in. Talking of Napoli, Maurizio Sarri linked with West Ham today.
Really?
Yeah, can't quite see that, but
why would you leave Napoli
who
to go
knows?
to West Ham?
Bonaventura. Going to find a way through to Kalinic, but into the arms of Strakosha.
Defended well, haven't they? But those crosses coming to the box majority of this game. Lazio, three centre-backs haven't moved out of that position. They've dealt with anything that's come in there.
You can add to that, Chris. Why would you leave Napoli as a Neapolitan and go to West Ham? Doesn't make any sense.
I can understand
in the papers.
I can understand West Ham having interest in someone like Sarri. Absolutely. I mean, his style of play is fantastic. He's such experience, and the job he's done at Napoli has been outstanding. But ludicrous to think that someone would leave a club where it's his own project. He's got so much passion for.
Here's Jordan Lukaku. Powerful running from him. Oh, rolls it in towards Parolo, and final pass wasn't quite there. Kessié on the counter, and suddenly Lazio look a bit exposed.
Just didn't sort his feet out, did he? Kessié had Bonaventura to his right-hand side. Really should have been passing it with his left, but tried to hit it with the outside of his right. Chance on the counter. Covers some distance, though, Kessié, doesn't he?
Yeah, he really does. That's one of the things they like about him. Still only 20. Only that one real full season at Atalanta as well. Cesena the year before, where people started to really take note, but he needs some time. Milan don't have any time. There's Çalhanoğlu's ball in, aimed at Kalinic. Rodriguez up towards Bonaventura. Immobile. Got Parolo with him and Luiz Alberto as well. Jordan Lukaku. Been quiet today, Milinkovic, Savic. I think he's set for a big season, though.
Not sure how effective he is playing in that slightly deeper role. I think he could probably play where Luiz Alberto is, but you can see why Luiz Alberto is playing there after today's performance.
What a day to be a Lazio fan. Radu replaced by Adam Marusic, the Montenegrin. Third substitute appearance for him. Newly signed from Oostende in Belgium as they cast their scouting net far and wide, as always.
It's an interesting substitution because he's more of a right wing-back type player and has gone in to play left-side centre-back. So out of position, certainly. You just wonder if it might be an injury to Radu.
Yeah, you sort of feel it must be. Another defensive issue for Inzaghi. There's Calabria. No way through for Bonaventura. Immobile thought about challenging for that and then decided that discretion was the better part of valour. Milan need 3 now in 9 minutes. Blown away by a hat-trick in 10 minutes either side of half-time from Ciro Immobile. And then Luiz Alberto teed up by Immobile to make it 4. Well, that was ambitious, but flying well over.
There is Radu, just feeling his left calf, isn't he? I just wonder if he's getting on a bit now, isn't he, Radu? He's a veteran of a lot of games at fullback for Lazio. Just wonder that they thought it was a good opportunity maybe to give him a rest.
That was all quite confusing with that substitution. It wasn't Marisic who came on, was it? Someone misread the numbers down there. It's
27.
Yeah, Felipe.
Yeah.
Who is a centre
back. Yeah, absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Lukaku's offside. Interesting and instructive that they're still pushing for a fifth. That was tight.
Shouldn't really be offside there though. Lukaku looking across the pitch.
Well, what a feather in the coaching cap this is for Simone Inzaghi. Biglia humiliated really on his return to the Olimpico. And Strakosha comes and punches. Lucas Biglia again. And Luiz Alberto
needed to play it earlier to Parolo, didn't he? He'd made the run and was in. Had he been able to play it first time, knew he was offside, so just left it.
Montolivo. Again, just angled slightly wrong there from Bonaventura.
It's a really poor area to cross from. It's such a difficult header for Kalinic to get on the end of. The cross needs to come from a wider area, higher up the pitch for him to attack. That her side's winning 4-1, would you?
No, you wouldn't. He's thinking the same thing. Here's Bonaventura. Hard and low, and that is a good sharp save by Strakosha.
Fairly comfortable, wasn't it? But hasn't had too much to do, got down well.
Here's Kessié. Now Rodriguez. I think Milan know the game is more than up here.
Going through the motions a little bit now, aren't they? I'm sure they'll try and score another one, but I think they know that there's no way they're going to score another 3.
All about maybe trying to take some positive momentum out of the game now. That's all they can do, really.
The game's going to leave them with a lot of questions rather than answers.
And there will be big pressure on Montella.
Defensively, they look all over the place at times.
Bonaventura.
Better area to cross from, but poor ball. Again, Stefan de Vrij in the right position. They've got that 3 centre-backs. They haven't been able to move those 3 centre-backs out of position to find space in the penalty area. So difficult for one centre-forward to play against 3 of them.
Now Çalhanoğlu. There's Kessié. Now Calabria. And the counts a shot on target, but it's easy enough for Strakosha.
I think it was a miss-hit cross.
Well, they got away with it against Cagliari, but Milan badly caught out here. All the issues are defensive ones. Here's Bonaventura. Dilia's pass was straight. Now Immobile. Look at Parolo bursting a gut to get up with it. Here's Luiz Alberto.
Just a lack of discipline there from Bonaventura. You can see his frustration that Calabria wasn't getting tight enough to his man. Gives away a silly free kick on the edge of the box. Gets a yellow card for it.
Yeah, no needs.
Just frustration, I think.
One down, the game is gone. You never know, that card might come back to haunt him at some point.
It's been comprehensive today, though, hasn't it? Lazio have been better in every aspect of the game than Milan.
Is there going to be a final flourish here from Luiz Alberto? Instead of that, he floats in the cross, too close to Donnarumma.
You have to feel for someone like Donnarumma, who's rumours in the summer he was going to move away, committed himself to the club and been left hopelessly exposed at times today.
There's Calabria. Now Immobile.
Players now, they just want the final whistle.
That's a poor giveaway, and Milan might make them pay. Deflected behind though for the corner. Kalinic with the shot.
Stefan de Vrij just making up for his poor pass, just puts a hand up to apologise to his teammates, but gets a crucial block in.
Worth waiting for this game, wasn't it? Really, really significant and interesting afternoon at the Olimpico. Last rites now. Milan's first defeat of the season, having had this wonderful start both in Europe and in Serie A. Just feels though as if the level of opposition has gone up a notch and they haven't coped.
Just looks to me like getting to know each other still, Milan. They're not playing as a team yet, whereas Lazio have been together a little bit longer. They're more familiar with each other, and they look like a real team. They understand what they're doing.
4 minutes to be added. So before this, before Ciro Immobile's day, Milan had played 6 competitive games already this season, 1-6 and 1 goal conceded, the one against Cagliari. Suddenly that has changed.
It's the first real test of the season for this though, wasn't it? You know, they've played some lesser-known European teams in the Europa League, and then Cagliari and Crotone in the league, games they should be winning. They struggled a little bit against Cagliari, to be fair. And they've come up against a good side today, and they've really struggled.
There was a time when the 4th went in, quick succession after the 3rd, that it looked like it could get humiliating. It could be one of those kind of scorelines, the ones that need brackets, but at least they've won the rest of the game 1-0. But that's not good enough. Bastos. I think he fancies a charge here, Bastos. And Luiz Alberto. Dusan Basta rolled into Lukaku. Brother would have scored.
Yeah, he just timed his run wrong, didn't he, Lukaku? He looked like he was favoured to get on the end of it and just almost took the wrong route to the ball. Calabria just does enough, but no one tracks. Çalhanoğlu doesn't track Basta's run. I mean, that's unforgivable. And then Lukaku just pulls off the back of Calabria as though he's not even there. Some real question marks defensively for Vincenzo Montella.
Now Milinkovic Savic. It looked like he was fouled. Parolo getting back, and Parolo has already been booked.
That's just so silly from Marco Parolo. He's winning the game 4-1. They're in the last minute. He's already got a yellow card. Why do you need to make that challenge?
And once again, Gianluca Rocchi sends off a Lazio player. That's number 14. He argues he got back and won the ball.
He didn't win the ball. He didn't touch the ball. It's a poor challenge. He doesn't need to make it. He's making a challenge from behind, going to ground. It's always going to be a yellow card. Such a silly decision from a really experienced player.
Final minute approaching. Here's Kessié. Appeals for a penalty from Kalinic.
No chance. Strong defending from Vrij. He's been excellent this afternoon, whenever tested. Just gets his body in there, gets his arm across. I don't think that's a penalty.
So how long does it take to sort out the defensive issues that Milan have then, Chris?
I think the one thing with the back four is you only get better by working together and playing together. They need to work on that training pitch, get that understanding of where each other's position's going to be, depending on where the ball is on the pitch. And at the moment, they just don't seem to have it. It's going to take a lot of work on the training pitch, this, for Milan.
Another month?
It could take a month. It could take 2 weeks. It could take 3 months.
Here's Kessié. He just jinks inside, but Vrij with the challenge, and that confirms it. What a win and what a story at the Olimpico. Immobile and Bonucci continue an argument. I don't know what that's about. Immobile with a hat-trick though. And then Luiz Alberto, teed up by Immobile, made it 4. There was a consolation goal for Milan, but not really much consolation to take from Montalivo's effort. This row continues. I mean, they know each other well.
I think they're talking about Parolo sending off here and maybe suggesting that the player went down.
Yeah, maybe. Montella will be under scrutiny, certainly, after that defeat. Lazio win it.